All right, blessings to you, brothers and sisters, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Pray all is well with you. Pray your house and you're doing in order. Pray everything is in order. Definitely. I want to talk about the COVID-19 contract tracing. Now, this the contact tracing world splits between two types of apps. Now, we know that they're using the COVID-19 for an excuse to push their agenda. It's kind of obvious once you start seeing the writing on the wall. I talked about this here on my Facebook page, and I believe that a lot of people didn't really understood what I meant when I said what I said. But I said Apple and Google. Here it is. Apple and Google aim to carry out a contact matching on devices to limit how much information is shared off devices. Countries around the world are developing COVID-19 smartphone apps to limit the spread of the coronavirus to relax lockdown restrictions. Its hope is to information that they gather can be used to alert people whether they are posed as a risk of spreading the virus or needed to isolate. But over the recent weeks, a split has emerged between the two different types of apps. The so-called traced and the distant trace version. Both types of Bluetooth signals to long wind smartphones owners are close to each other, so if someone develops the COVID-19 symptoms, an alert can be sent to another user they may be affected under this blah 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 blah. Now, the COVID-19, listen, I told you, if you guys been paying attention, China uses a number system that they rank people with a number system from a scale to, I think, a certain number to a high number. If you go underneath that lower number, you can be quarantined or they can take certain rights from you. So now when you see it says when AB meets their phone exchanging a keynote, biometrics, infected with the COVID-19, when it becomes infected, the update of his status of the app, Big Brother watching you. Plain and simple. It's the wake-up call. Big Brother is watching you even more. They're using the COVID-19 to push their agenda. Apple and Google are using a firmware to where they're all going to be doing it together. Check this out.
If you live in the UK and are currently travelling abroad, you should return home now. Where commercial routes are available, contact your tour operator or airline to arrange travel home immediately. Where commercial routes are no longer running, follow our travel advice and sign up for email alerts. Take action now. Visit gov.uk/coronavirus-travel-advice.
Contact tracing is about keeping a record of who you've been around, so if you get ill, they can quickly be warned that you may have passed on an infection. This technique is already used in sexual health clinics. If you're found to have an STI, they often offer to text people you've been intimate with to warn them that they may need to get tested too, or so I've heard. In this setting, contact tracing from memory is easy enough to do because most of us can remember who we've slept with. But once we're out of lockdown, we can't possibly remember every person we've been close to for long enough to catch coronavirus, whether that's in a park or on a train or at a party. And time is critical. What if one of these people later finds out they have COVID-19 and that they might have given it to me? So, governments around the world are proposing we use our phones to track who we meet and, critically, send instant cascades of alerts if somebody tests positive, so we can quickly go back into self-isolation and stop the spread. Several ideas about how this could work have been put forward. One way is to use GPS satellite location data to keep a record of everywhere you go. Then, if you get ill, the system can warn people who've been nearby. But it goes without saying that asking people to keep a record of everywhere they've been and share that with a third party or government raises privacy concerns. And satellite location data doesn't work well indoors or underground. And it can't tell you what floor of a building you're on, so no good for people who live in flats. One method being used in China involves scanning QR codes before entering shops, restaurants and other public places to keep a record of where you've been. but that doesn't record who you interacted with inside the building. Mobile phone towers can be used to work out roughly where you've been as your phone jumps from tower to tower as you move around. But while this works on any phone without installing any apps, it's far less accurate than satellite location data, so it's not hugely useful for contact tracing, although it can be used to check people are staying at home during a national lockdown. One idea that's gathering attention is using Bluetooth on a smartphone. This is the option being explored by the UK's NHSX team, among others. The idea is that anywhere I go, my smartphone will exchange an anonymous key with other smartphones nearby using Bluetooth. My phone will keep the keys it receives for 14 days and strangers will get mine. If I then get ill, I'll be able to declare my status in an app and add my key to a central database. That means everybody that's picked up my key while out and about can be warned instantly that someone they've met has coronavirus. This idea has the backing of Apple and Google. They plan to build the tech into their mobile operating systems, iOS and Android, so in future it won't even need a third-party app for it to work. Now, using Bluetooth offers more privacy because the codes shared are anonymous, the matching can be done on your device rather than a central database.
Alright, I just want to pause that for a second. I'm sure you heard that. You ain't gonna have to download no app. I have an iPhone 11, one of the newest iPhones. They're gonna put this in there. They're gonna do an update, and they do it with Androids. They're gonna do an update, and they're gonna put it in there, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. And they're gonna trace you. They already listen to you. The algorithms already listen to you. They're gonna trace you. They're doing this, brothers and sisters. You see where we are? Do you understand it? The writing is on the wall. The writing is truly on the wall. Now it's up to you to be able to discern.
And the system doesn't use any location data, so it won't keep a record of where you've been. But you'll need a smartphone, and not all of them have the right kind of Bluetooth for it to work. On the other hand, if you collect location data and store it centrally, then governments and health researchers can analyse the data, identify virus hotspots and track where the virus is spreading. Either way, for any system like this to work, it needs a big proportion of smartphone users to take part. If too few people take part, the system is a lot less useful.
Alright, brothers and sisters, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you share this information. I believe it's very important. I believe it's very important for us to understand it and see it and wonder why that AI, mark of the beast, agenda is being pushed. And they're getting ready to set up a one world government, a new world order. And they have to use something big like this virus to push their agenda. You heard it from me. This is the wake up call. Shalom.